Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, and dear Medley Toastmasters, guests, ladies and gentlemen. A cordial welcome to Medley Toastmasters weekly meeting happening on the eve of the 75th Independence Day of India. We are very much delighted in welcoming you all to this meeting. Toastmasters International is a non-profit organization with a mission to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. We welcome you all to have an exciting experience of the Toastmasters model. And while doing so, we have a set of ground rules that we request you to follow to make this meeting more interesting and productive. Kindly keep your mic on mute unless you are delivering a session or being asked a question. Keep your phone in silent mode when in the meeting when you are speaking so that it does not create any disturbance. Please prefix your name with TM underscore if you are a Toastmaster or guest underscore if you are a guest. I'll give you 5 seconds to do that. Please do rename yourself with a prefix. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Thank you very much. As much as possible, keep your video on, meaning make yourself available in camera so that the speakers or anybody who is presenting get a near live experience of all the audience and get motivated by your facial responses, particularly if your bandwidth permits. Please stay in a professional posture when you are on video throughout the meeting. Kindly stay throughout the meeting and enjoy the Toastmasters experience. Please, please, please do not exit abruptly from the meeting without informing. People have taken pains to organize this meeting. It will be an insult to those people if you exit abruptly from the meeting. It will be a pleasure if you could join our table topics when you're called upon, but please make yourself available when your name is called upon. Inform your presence. Also, one more request is to keep the chat window in the Zoom always open on one side of your screen so that you walk through all the messages. You may get some quick messages on doing certain things over this. With this, we are about to begin the meeting. To preside over this meeting, I am very glad to welcome the president of Medley Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Ranga. Ranga has very fond memories of participating in Independence Day from his childhood, where his father was working in the prestigious Railway Protection Force, and he used to attend Independence Day celebration conducted by those paramilitary force regularly, and he used to get motivated by the patriotic fervor being exhibited in those days. With these kind words, I am very glad to invite our Toastmaster President Ranga to preside over the meeting. Over to you, Ranga. Ranga, you are on mute. No, Ranga, you are still on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry for the snafu. Thank you for the delightful introduction, DTM Guru Prasad. With the sound of this gavel, I would declare meeting number 637 open. Welcome, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As we march into the 75th year of independence, I was just taking stock of all the colonies and protectorates that were under the British regime in 1947 and how we have gotten our independence. I'd just like to show you a small slide which will actually tell us how many protectorates and colonies were became independent since 1947. As you can notice, there are 50 countries in various parts of the world that have gained independence since 1947. That was the reach that they had. Now, we can no longer call them a country where the sun never sets, because it is a country where the sun never rises now. Having said that, I would like to just call upon the guest. Guest Upasana, could you unmute yourself and share a few words? Upasana? I'll get back to you at the end of the meeting. Our guest Harish, good to see you again. Welcome to our Independence Day meeting.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah. So, could you just say a few words about the second meeting that you're attending now?
So I'm very eager to attend this meeting, waiting since long. When will this meeting will happen?
Good.
So this is Independence Day meeting, right? So it will. I think it will be go well. Like I will enjoy this meeting, I think.
Very good. Welcome, and we'll make sure that you aren't disappointed. And guest Om Kumar, he's been a regular again.
So hello everyone. So this is my third meeting in a row, and expecting to watch all the speakers speak, and hope it will be exciting as the last 2 weeks. Thank you.
Good. Welcome. And with that, I would like to hand over the podium to our Toastmaster of the day, one, Dinesh. About Dinesh, I met him for the first time when I joined Medley, and from then on, he's a very genial and very straightforward person. He cracks jokes without batting an eyelid, so which makes us laugh, but he is very calm and composed. With that, I would like to hand over the podium to Dinesh. Welcome, Dinesh.
Thank you, President, for the very warm wishes, and advance happy Independence Day wishes to everyone for today. A very good evening, everyone. Tomorrow, as we know, we'll be celebrating our 74th Independence Day, a day which is very close to my heart, just as it would be for everyone. And guess who I'm dressed like? Only wrong guesses, please. Anyone?
Dinesh.
Yeah, that's superb, sir. I'm dressed as a person that you could blame your today's problems on me, because I was born way back. Way back. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for being very special. And as we all know, independent India was formed in August 15th, 1947, a day which is very important. A day in which we brought a democratic nation to its heels. I'm talking about the Great Britain, and India put forward its own democracy. Guess how many years the Britain ruled India? Anyone?
More than 200 years.
Anyone else? Nearby, it's nearby, Atishay. Okay, anyway, they ruled exactly for 190 years. That's how long the Britain ruled India, since the Battle of Plassey in 1757. Before India was ruled by the Britain, India's GDP was nearly 30% of the world's GDP. Just imagine 30%. And by the time it came to 1947, India's GDP had been reduced to less than 4%, from 30% to 4% in over 200 years. That's how much India has been exploited by the British. India has been not only exploited by the raw resources, but also by its people, by deliberately making claims to the righthood land in which our Indians would have been, and the Britain took over it for more than 200 years. And even till today, many historians and scholars, even in Britain, agree that perhaps Britain should pay in some form to India a sort of a retribution, a late retribution it may seem, for the amount of plundering which had happened over 200 years of such a great country. And going forward, let us have a brief history about how India has become. Can everyone see my slide? India's very long road to freedom. The first is the Whaler Mutiny in 1806. Although this happened just for a day, more than 500 Indian sepoys were mercilessly killed in Vellore. This was because of religious reason. There was a dress code which was brought for the sepoys there, in which Hindus were not forbidden not to wear tilak, and Muslims were forbidden to grow beard. Thereby, a great riot broke. This is perhaps the very first war of Indian independence. Here it happened in our own very own Vellore. The second is the Sepoy Mutiny, which happened over 1.5 years. This happened mainly in north and east part of India. More than 10 lakh Indians lost their life in this mutiny. We had the great leaders like Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi and Mangal Pandey all battled during this regime. And even the cause for this mutiny was religious, because the Britain had then pawned an Enfield gun and that gun, for its gunpowder to be removed, it had a cartridge over it, and for that cartridge had to be removed by teeth. And it was widely rumored that the cartridge was filled with the grease made of cows and pork. As we all know, cow was very sacred to Hindus and pork was sacred to Muslims. So that's how this mutiny happened, which went on for over 1.5 years. The third is the most important part, and here India was well on course to becoming a freedom country. The non-cooperation movement, in which the galaxy of leaders like Gandhi, Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel all came together to form an ahimsa way of giving way to freedom. This was formed mainly during the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, which had happened in 1919, where more than 500 Indians lost their life, and also because of the Rowlatt Act, which many of you would have heard during your school days, where any Indian could be arrested by the British and held for 2 years without any reason. This was completely ridiculous and was acronymous. The fourth is the civil disobedience movement. And the main reason for this movement was after the non-cooperation movement, which sadly ended after the Chauri Chora incident. Indians were looking for some sort of a way in which ignite the whole country, and there it was civil disobedience movement. The British had formed a law in which it prohibits individuals from making any kind of salt. Famously, Gandhi, as we all know, he broke the salt law in a march to Dandi. Even here in Tamil Nadu, Rajagopalacharya did it. And finally, the last nail in the coffin is the Quit India movement in 1942. This happened during the very peak of the World War II, in which 2.5 million Indians fought for the British. They didn't know what they were fighting for, and Mahatma Gandhi was against it. And particularly during this regime, it was when the Bengal famine had happened. More than 3 million people, particularly in Bengal, had died because most of the food from Bengal had gone to the soldiers who were fighting in Europe and other countries. Gandhi wanted Purna Swaraj, complete independence from that moment. And that is the way, that is a very short way in which I told you of such a huge journey in which our forefathers and our great-great-grandfathers embarked upon the journey of freedom. And these are some of the few pictures. For example, when Nehru made his famous speech of Trust with Destiny, the midnight hour when the whole world sleeps and India will be awakened to the light of freedom, a photo from it. And when our first Deputy Prime Minister of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, took oath as the Deputy Prime Minister. And this was exactly what happened 74 years ago, a very, very first flag hoisting. A nation which was on its way to make its own leaders. And look at the crowd in which the people were gathered, just looking forward to the journey and how great it is indeed. And I want to turn upon everyone and look upon how independence we look upon today. For example, India today has many, many problems, even though we are a democratic, independent country, in which more than 70% of the people in India are predominantly youth. But still we have many, many problems. The first is we have the freedom of choice. We have the freedom to elect the elected leaders we have. Although many people take money or liquor to vote, but still we have the freedom of choice. We have the freedom to marry anyone, the freedom to elect our own representative. This is a freedom that we should use very wisely. Second is living without fear. Mahatma Gandhi once famously said that India is truly an independent country when the women and the ladies of this country can walk midnight without any fear. That is that is what we have to restore. That is what, when we have true freedom, is all about. We should not fear, particularly in the age of social media. where we are constantly battered and giving a bad name, we should be in an age where we live without fear. The third is being accepted. India is, of course, a multi-plural country with different religion, caste, ethnicity. No matter where we travel, we should be accepted only as Indians, and we should not belittle anyone who is not of our sect. And the final one is being comfortable oneself. We have to be comfortable being ourselves an Indian. We shouldn't compare ourselves with other nations, and we should be a proud nation no matter where we go. We should accept ourselves and be the best. Thank you, everyone. And I would like to next move on to our famous round robin session, which you all have been waiting for. First, I would like to tell about the round robin session. It is a session where you can speak for 45 seconds. And it's unlike the table topic sessions where you can speak for 2 minutes. Here you can speak only for 45 minutes. And it's a warm-up session. We'll begin with each member conducting the segment, providing the beginning of a story. I will indicate the time and it has elapsed for more than 45 seconds. I will clap when the 45 seconds have passed. I will specify the last word uttered by the speaker, and the next speaker has to start from that word. The most important part of the round robin session is to be careful and to listen to what the other person is speaking out. I'll tell for an example of how round robin session is conducted. For example, if I am the speaker, I'm starting by, I was walking my dog the other day when a man, and I end with a man, for example, after 45 seconds, the next speaker has to start. Man has been on the earth for 10,000 days. Similarly, the last word which the person says, which I will anyway tell to the next speaker, that is the word in which the new speaker has to use. Are everyone clear how the round robin session happens? Thank you.
What's the theme? What's the theme of the session, sir?
The theme of the session is?
Independence, right?
Yeah, independence. Yeah.
Thank you.
I call upon our first speaker, Dr. T.K. Sundaram. You there, sir?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. You will have 45 seconds, sir. And I ask you to speak about independence, please.
The Independence Day celebrations have been very, very personal to me. I was living in Delhi for more than about 25 years. And most of the time, I used to attend the Independence Day parade along with my son. And actually, we used to sit at of course, it was actually a place where we have to sit at a distance and see the Red Fort flag and all those things. It was very nice feeling, actually, especially when the children are very young. My sons were very young at the time, so I used to take them. And there only I saw in one of the meetings, Kiran Bedi arranging the cars and other things on that Independence Day, and her devotion also. I saw that. Anyway, the Independence Day is very good,
Thank you, sir.
and I have good memories.
We'll finish with memories, sir. And
Yeah.
I call upon Toastmaster Saravanan, please.
Memories. When I hear the word memories, the first thing that strikes me is the Malayalam movie Memories. The memory movie was, the actor was Prithviraj Sukumaran. We have seen that movie. That's really very well done. It's a serial killer movie, but it was very well done and enacted as well. I would say, this movie was also taken in Tamil also. There was one person called as Arunidhi who acted in that movie. And the central theme of that movie was more of to respect everybody. Because if you don't respect people based on their color or caste or religion and all, it will backfire. So that is one of the very sensitive movies that was ever made. And it went off very well.
Thank you. Can we end on with the sensitive? I call upon our past president, Raghunath Nair.
Sensitive is something which is very, which I feel that I am. It is something which, especially being an Independence Day, we are sensitive to the lot of things that is happening in India and across. The one thing which I really remember is the various things happening, especially the kind of the terrorist attacks and the kind of savings that military and does. I was watching one of these recent films, and in this, the key dialogue which struck me is, we need to win every time, and they need to win only once. That's something which is very sensitive, or being very sensitive, that we need to be as an Indian.
Thank you, Raghu. Indian, I call upon Toastmaster Priya to.
Yes. Being an Indian is a very proud feeling, especially when we are celebrating, on the verge of celebrating 75 years of independence. What's the difference then and now? It's been huge. It was once, as Atiyah Modi rightly mentioned, we were lowest in the economy, but now we are the 6th largest in the table of economy. So what is that what we Indians are looking forward? We are one such country which is rich in so many things. It may be culture, it may be with language, it may be with scriptures, or whatever is we say we have in abundance. The only thing that we Indians lack is to live with harmony. We have earned so much of money. We have earned better living after our independence. There are so many things we have earned because of those people who sacrifice for our sake.
Thank you, Priya.
Thank you.
Earned. Venkatesan sir, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Earned, sir.
Sorry?
Earned.
Earned.
Yeah.
This word recollects my friend's experience. He called me and he spoke to me day before yesterday, and he told me about that. I got a green card in US and I settled in US. My family settled. Everything is okay, but only one thing is missing: the parade. We used to go to the Independence Day parade near Lighthouse, that Secretariat building. When we studied together in the schools and colleges, we used to get a VIP pass from his uncle, and then we watched that. And he used to say that money is nothing, Venkat. Life is more important. I lost the precious moments we spent together, even in my earlier age.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Precious, can we end it? Precious guest Omkar.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. So when I hear about the word precious, so the independence which we got from the Britishers is a precious one, and very few consider that freedom as so precious that they work towards making our country much better than where we are and where we were. But others and many of us does not think about that precious thing and waste our time in thinking about other stuff. But I would request everyone to consider our freedom as a very precious thing and to make every Indian dream come true. Thank you.
Thank you. Dream. Is there Uday, Toastmaster Uday? The word is dream.
Yeah. So definitely the freedom wouldn't have come, because of a lot of sacrifice, and the people would have just, dreamt to just live in the independent country. So we have really got, in fact, this precious thing after almost, as you said, that 193, almost nearly 190 years of, captivity. So we have got this freedom. So we really need to just realize that not just once in a year, but at the same time, the duty and responsibility, being a citizen, so starts from everything. So whatever we do. Thanks.
Duty. Toastmaster Sundaresan. Duty, sir. It's a word.
It's a beauty. Independence is a beauty. You see the people who are standing in the sun, okay, they will know the value of that shade by the freedom and the wisdom of thoughts which we are having because of independence. It's a beautiful day for us, especially I view this from my experience as a NRI for the past 35 years. This August 15th, and 26th January are two celebration days for NRIs. Believe me, it's not just a holiday like here. We used to take our children to the embassy. We will meet ambassador and we'll hoist the flag. We will celebrate in a grand Indian functions, projecting all the importance of each state, each region, and unity and harmony we have inculcated to children. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Unity. Toastmaster Periyasamy.
Oh, thank you. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, unity. Yeah, such a great word. Even we have diversified religions, caste, food, and if we go to the schools and working places, and everywhere we see a lot of unities here and there, up and down. But still we are united. So unity is it's not a small word, it's a very big word. So it's like unity is strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Periyasamy. Strength. DTM Thomas, sir.
Strength comes from unity. Strength is what we seek as we celebrate another birthday of the Republic of India. What blood was bartered by our forefathers will go waste if we cannot have our rights, which comes with our responsibilities. The rights to, as rightly said by the TMOD, the right to live in dignity, the right to choice, the right to be considered equal, to the right to be a shareholder of this wonderful country. All the best to you.
You can end with the word best,
you.
Maybe.
Okay.
You. Best. Okay. Grammarian Dinakaran.
Yeah. So best is the word.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The best part of our life is what that we are going to celebrate tomorrow, or we are celebrating as part of today's meeting. The freedom. Freedom is very key for all of us in our thoughts, in our way of working, in our way of life. So that's the best part. So without the freedom, so you are nothing. So you are not you are not yourself, and you cannot do anything on your own. So the best part is the freedom that we have. So we have to cherish that and celebrate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Celebrate is the word. Toastmaster Venkataseshan. Celebrate.
Celebration. It was year 2015, October 4th, when I traveled from India to US to work for a project. So I landed in Washington, DC airport. So there was a large queue where more than 120 people were standing to validate their passport and visa. There was a nearby queue where it was written that only for US and UK citizens. There were 20-25 people who could walk in, as simple as like that. In 2 minutes, they could walk through. Later in 2016, my family joined me, and we had a kind of disconnect with the country. And I found that I'm not part of that country and I'm working it as an alien. So when I returned back to India,
thank you, Mr. Alien. The word is alien. And we'll go to DTM Sampath, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Aliens are anybody who is an outsider. You don't have to go to outside the planet. Who are ruled us for the centuries are aliens. What did they do? If they belong to India, they will settle here. They will be part of our group, but they didn't do that. They were trying to exploit and take away what best they could take away from here. That is because they were aliens. We got independence, we say no. We got freedom. They became independent of India. They were dependent on India before. Now they became independent of India, and it's a very poor show they are having later on. We became free, we struggled, and then we are now becoming self-dependent. So we are free and self-dependent. the aliens have become.
Thank you, sir. Dependent, Toastmaster John Jayakumar.
Good evening, everyone. Dependent on a foreign country, we were for many years, and then we got our independence. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, how much of the community has really got independence? Are we still dependent at different levels, or has everyone in this country got the same level of independence? That's a profound thought that we need to get into. For example, if you look at the gender equality between men and women, so this is a big area that we need to look at. Do we have the same level of opportunities between men and women in this country? That's a question that we need to ponder more into.
Thank you. Opportunities. Shankar ji. If Shankar is not present, then Satish. How about Timer Mohan? Opportunities.
Thank you, Toastmaster today. What a wonderful opportunity to tribute our leaders and the soldiers who are presented in that war. So, being born in the 90s, and I couldn't have a chance to meet the leaders and who have fought in the freedom. So let's back to the movies. One of my favorite called Indian and Chirachale. So people were seen and executed and harassed in many situations.
Mohan. Yeah, thank you, Mohan. Thank you, Mohan. Yeah, thank you, Mohan. So thank you, everyone. So thank you, Mohan, and thank you, everyone, for taking part in today's round robin session. And with this, my part comes to an end. And our Toastmaster of the days, Atishay and Subhashini, will be gathering you. For now, I return control to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. A few words about Toastmaster Karthikeyan. His favorite freedom fighter is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and also he's working in TCS for the past 10 years. And Independence Day someday, which is always inspires. Over to you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day, Mr. Toastmaster Dinesh. When the student is ready, all are ready means the master will arrive. I'm not talking about the master Vijay, I'm talking about the Medley. Medley is a good platform. He is learned so many things. He have to attempt so many attempts. If you are pass or fail, that is not big matter. But learning is very important. Same thing, I have learned so many things in the platform. Medley is a good platform. Now I have, but what we have looked at this learning, which is are getting a Medley more and more increase actually. That what is the more? I is a gender. I actually today is I'm a gender evaluator. Actually, I got so many perspectives. I have to saw that what are the mistakes, what are the good things, everything I have to watch out. I have the good spontaneous, good fantastic team is that what is called a GATE team. That is a GATE means the G for grammar, A for all-rounder, T for timer. I have call upon one by one my team. And the last one day evaluator. Okay, that I have to first I call upon Mr. That team will help you out the honest assistant where we have in the state, where we have in the place how we are
which field we need to increase, they will help you out the 3 things. The team will is told, observe that is thought where we did the mistake and share the report after the meeting. Let me introduce my team. Very good, stupendous team. Toastmaster timer today is Mohan. He is working on the software company. Being a software engineer in the Anubam software company. He is helping so many things. He is helping so many things in the Medley. If any person's action, he is taking the responsibility. Please put your hand to welcome Toastmaster Mohan.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, prepared speakers, and evaluators. And I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and a red card. Each card specifies a specific time period. For the table topic speakers, should not limit the remarks to more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will show the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will show the amber card. At 2 minutes, I will show the red card. For the prepared speeches, it should be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At 6 minutes, I will show the amber card. At 7 minutes, I will show the red card. For the evaluators, it should be 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will show the green card. And at 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will show the amber card. And at 3 minutes, I will show the red card. 30 seconds will be awarded in each category. 30 seconds will be awarded in each category to qualify and to wrap up in a speech. Thank you, everyone, and over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Morgan. Next, I will call. Next, our counter, Toastmaster Udaya. Next, our gatekeepers, our counter Udaya is a new member. He is joined for last month. He is doing a counter role with the first time in Medley. He is working on the banking sector. He loves spending with family and going to gym. Please put your hand. Welcome to Toastmaster Uday. Toastmaster Uday, explain your role.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. So taking responsibility of our counter, so I will be listening to the speakers, their speeches very carefully, and note down all the crutch and filler words which will impact spoil the speeches. So I will submit the report end of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uday. Next, grammarian. We have the gatekeeper. No, he is a grammarian. Is a Toastmaster Dinagaran. Evaluator is the very hard. You know, with whatever we are speaking, every speech, it is a presentation. Everything is there. But evaluation is a very heart of the speaking. He is working. Dinagaran, Toastmaster Dinagaran is working on the TCS for the past 21 years. He is watching movies and traveling to Medley around 2 years. Please put your hand. Welcome, Mr. Toastmaster Dinagaran. Toastmaster Dinagaran, explain your role.
Thank you, G. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Today's word of the day is perseverance. I will share my screen. Perseverance, the meaning is persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. The example for the usage is the perseverance of our freedom fighters helped us to get freedom from British. I encourage all the Toastmasters to use the word of the day. Over to GE. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinagaran. I will come back after the speakers and move to my evaluation general report and team. Over to PM Modi, Toastmaster Aditya Jain.
Thank you, General Evaluator Karthik here. A very good evening, everyone. Taking over the baton from Toastmaster Dinesh, I will be taking care of 2 sessions, the prepared speech session being the first one. Before we proceed, I would like to take this opportunity to do something similar to what Toastmaster Dinesh did. Now, he dressed up as Nehru in the spirit of independence, and Nehru being the first prime minister of the country. I, on the other hand, have dressed up to represent everyone, every single person who was there in the crowd, lost, unnamed, and not taken note of in the pages of history when Nehru was giving that speech on that fateful night of 15th August. I wish to represent everyone who tried to contribute to the freedom struggle in whatever way they can, while also managing their daily lives, working with their daily schedules. The common man who also wanted to contribute to the freedom struggle, the common man who was one of the smaller gears in the larger machine that brought India its independence. With that said, and without further delay, let's move to the prepared speech session. The first project speaker is Toastmaster Surya, someone who has an image at Medley for being one of the most funniest people you could talk to, very understanding, very easy to approach, and always open for a good chat. Toastmaster Surya, his speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sarvanan. I would like to invite Toastmaster Sarvanan to please read out his speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Surya is attempting his speech on strategic relationship pathways, level 2 project, understanding your Zoom Master, can you please mute? Thank you. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Surya to identify his primary leadership style or styles. And the purpose of this speech is for Toastmaster Surya to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss about leadership styles in general. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarvanan. Toastmaster Surya, my leadership style. My leadership style, Toastmaster Surya K.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Hope I'm audible. Happy advance Independence Day to all. As a part of this project, I took up a survey in a TMI website, and I got 3 different leadership styles as my predominant style. Those are coaching, democratic, and innovative leadership style. I am here to explain my life experience where these 3 leadership styles helped me in achieving the results and played out well. First thing is coaching. Coaching is a leadership style in which a person focuses on individuals' skill development. I was offered an opportunity to coach a person in recruitment at work when I was 26 years old. At the beginning, I was a bit hesitant to take up this role, but my seniors motivated me to take up this opportunity as that would help my career development. I took that opportunity. I got a trainee whom I should coach. Thank God, it was a trainee, not an experienced person. I segmented my training program into 3 stages. Stage 1 was I made that person to sit with me, next to me, and see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Not to just work, but just to look and understand the process. And I've asked him to write what is his understanding about the process. Stage 2 was I've explained him the process completely and asked him to figure out the differences between what was his actual understanding about the process and what he had understood as a process. And the stage 3 was I sat with that person and understood his style of working, and I was instantly providing feedback to that person and also helped him when my intervention is required. The one advice that I give to all my juniors is that do your work effectively in your own style and always decrease your dependency on others. Next one is democratic style, leadership style. Democratic style is all about influencing people As I took the Sergeant at Arms roles in Medley Toastmaster, as soon as I completed it, I got an opportunity to take up a VPE role. All that I know about VPE role is one of the challenging role in club level that anyone could take. VP is a person who's capable of persuading the members to keep themselves engaged at the club. I took up the role and I was helped by others for first 3 weeks, and I got an understanding about what this role is. Then I started structuring this role, started planning for a one month ahead of the time. I ensured that I talk to every single member of the club and ensure that they are participating in the meeting irrespective of whether they are taking any roles or not. Secondly, I also formed a structured program for all new members of Toastmasters, Medley. A structured program continuously to engage themselves in a way that created a habit of regularly attending the meeting. Then I did not push many of the members, or I did not put pressure on them, but the kind of democratic style that I used made the members to regularly attend the meeting. The type of kindness that showed by the members on me made me to take up the VP role once again at club level. Third one is innovative style of leadership. During my work in the year 2015, I got an opportunity to head the entire campus recruitment. At that time, when I took over this opportunity, it was just at the time when I took up this opportunity, campus was a very small process in my organization, where the main purpose of the campus itself was to provide visibility to the organization. When I was given this task to me, I felt it as a huge task, and I was told to increase the number of employees being inducted every year. I formulated a plan. I decided to surf through internet to find out the colleges that are offer courses relevant to our organization, suitable to our organization. Earlier, we were visiting only less number of colleges to cater our requirements. I surfed through internet, opened up Anna University's website, and found that pressure. I got to get the details of all the colleges that are affiliated to Anna University, and I was able to fetch a data of 623 colleges affiliated to Anna University, out of which nearly 90 colleges were offering courses that caters our organizational requirements. After collecting those details, I came up with a structured plan for 3 months. I contacted all my known persons to establish the contact with the colleges, and I also surfed through websites to identify and explore the contacts. Then, after completing it, it was usually the numbers that we recruit was 350 to 400 every year. After I took over, we were able to recruit close to 700 employees were inducted newly. So leadership, there is no anything called an ideal leadership. It's what matters is that the result which we identify with the circumstances and the people around us. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya, for the wonderful speech. It was inspiring to see how you turned around your organization's recruiting capacities. The next speaker is Toastmaster John Jayakumar. Toastmaster John is a 9-to-5er turned entrepreneur with several years of experience working both in corporate as well as working on his own, leading his company. His evaluator for today is Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham. I would like to invite him to please read out Toastmaster John's speech objectives.
Thank you very much, Tia Modi. Good afternoon, dear Medlians and friends. Today, Toastmaster John Jayakumar from the strategic relationship path is doing the evaluation and feedback, which is the level 1 project 2, the first of the speeches. The topic is independence. Independence, Toastmaster John Jayakumar. 5 to 7 minutes is the time. Over to you.
All right. Toastmaster John Jayakumar, independence. Independence, Toastmaster John Jayakumar.
Thank you, TMOD. Can you all give me a thumbs up if you're able to hear me okay? Great. First of all, wishing all of you a very happy Independence Day. But that's the theme of my speech as well, independence. The question that I have to ask each one of you is, do we truly have independence? Now, let me give you a statistic. The number of students enrolled in engineering and technology courses across India, if you look at the gender, 71% of them are male and 29% are female. Do you look at the gap between these two? Now, post-independence, we have, of course, come a long way. We have seen the first woman president of India, the first woman prime minister, the first woman Lok Sabha speaker. We've seen the first woman governor, the first woman chief minister. We've even had a woman president of the United Nations General Assembly. We've had a women Nobel Prize winner, IPS, IAS officers, Lieutenant General in the Indian Army. Guess what? We have even had a women astronaut. But still, are we there? If you look at the number of allopathic doctors in India, 83% of doctors are male versus 17% female. Why is there such a big gap? What is the reason? A couple of reasons that I can think of. The first one is stereotype. You know, in the Iron Age, right, in the olden days, of course, muscle mattered. The more muscle you had, the more stronger you are, the better your survival. So we kind of got into this mode of placing men before women. Women tend to stay at home, and then, you know, men went out to work and earn for the family. But in this information age, does it still hold true? Of course not. Brain matters more than muscles. But that stereotype still remains, that men are somehow better equipped than women. Think about this. If a boy is born in a family, first standard, they send that boy for maths tuition. Hey, you have to get into IIT. The same case, a girl is born in a family, they say, hey, why don't you go and help your mother in the kitchen? This is the stereotype that we live in. I've been to Italy for work, and what I saw there is women in Italy are afraid to get pregnant because they don't have protection for their jobs. If they get pregnant and if they take those few months off, when they come back, they usually find somebody else in their seat and their job is gone. So because of that, many of the women in Italy prefer not to have children. And if you look at the number of people who are above 60, a significant portion of people in Europe, you see, are people who are old. What will happen day by day is the number of people who are earning to support these people who have retired will significantly reduce, and a time will come in the future when the whole economy will collapse. Now let's take about the case in India. I have been in the corporate world for more than 2 decades, and I know how things are. I know the reality of things. Let's take the case of a girl. She has a baby. Now, let's say both the husband and wife are working. Now, they get holidays for 6 months, 9 months. Now, I think it's gone up to a year. But just because the child is a year old, the child cannot see to itself. Do we have enough creches in the workplace? So what happens to the child if both the father and mother are working? Who takes care of the child? I think a concrete effort is needed for the society, the corporates, and the government to look into this. Now, why is this important? If you look at the different states in India, Tamil Nadu is one of the leading states in various aspects. In terms of economy, it's way ahead. In terms of industrialization, it's way ahead. They went and looked at the factors. Why is Tamil Nadu among the top? It's either the first or the second in various of these aspects. What they found out was the number of women getting into higher education is much higher in Tamil Nadu when compared to a lot of the other states. So statistically, it is clear that the more women get into higher education, the more women get into employment, go out to work, that society will flourish, that society will grow. So the day when we have equal representation of women in all fields, that will be our true independence. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. On this eve, on one day before independence, we were able to find a completely new perspective of what being independent would truly mean for the country. With this, we are done with the short prepared speech session we had for today. Now, given that this is a special meeting, I have something else in store for you. And this would be a short session where I would be sharing quotes from some of our freedom fighters, people who played a crucial role in our struggle for independence from the British rule. And you, as people in the audience, would have to guess who that quote is from. Let me share my screen and then we can begin with this.
TMOD, shall we run the poll before this for the best speakers?
Right. Yeah, sure. Let's run the poll for the best speakers.
Hello.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Surya being disqualified by giving a speech more than a lot of time. So.
Okay, right. So let's leave the poll for the end then, after the timer's report is done. So we can discard the responses for now because the poll is already loaded. Thank you. So moving on to the next session, the Guess Who session. I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know when you're able to view the screen, right? Can you see it? Is my screen visible? Can I get a thumbs up, please? Okay, thank you. I hope I didn't give you spoilers. Is someone speaking? All right, so let me explain how this Guess Who works. I'll show you a quote from one of our freedom fighters, and I'll call upon one person at random from the audience, and they will have to try to guess who that quote is from. I'll try to give you hints if you're not able to guess within a specified time. You can also, if you feel that you have zero clue as to who that quote is from, feel free to pass it on to someone else you pick from the audience. Okay, with that being said, I would like to begin with the first quote, and the quote is Satyamev Jayate. Toastmaster Ranga, would you like to start with this one?
Could you give me a clue, please?
Satyamev Jayate. Okay, you don't want to take a guess.
No, I don't want. I feel awkward if I'm going to make a mistake.
Okay. So this person is. Let me just say this. His name is 4 words, and 3 of those start with an M. The first word is Pandit.
Madan Mohan Malaviya.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya. So he was the one. He did not coin this term, but he was the one who popularized this during the independence struggle. This term is actually taken from the Upanishads, where it means truth above everything else. The next quote, and this one is for Dr. T.K. Sundaram. Dr. T.K. Sundaram, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
And its spirit is always the spirit of age.
Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It's a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age. This person was closely associated with creating the constitution for our country. You would have heard his name.
Mumbai, actually he became a Buddhist at the end. I forget his name. Yeah, that is actually.
He was he used doctor as his salutation.
Yeah.
Are you able to think of it? Should we move to someone else?
He was a Tamilian?
No, not a Tamilian.
No, he's a Mumbai. Actually, I have visited even he's actually the place where he has actually rested, place to rest in the seashore.
No problem. You're close, but so
yeah.
Do we have Harish with us? Harish Elangovan?
Yes.
Yeah, can you try
Ambedkar. It's Ambedkar.
Ambedkar. That's right.
Ambedkar, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Yeah.
All right.
Ambedkar, yes.
Yep. So let's move on to the next one. In attaining our ideals, our means should be as pure as the end. This one is a little vague, but let's see if you're able to guess it. So I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shankar ji for this one. Shankar, are you there? Toastmaster Shankar?
Shankar has just stepped out. He'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. So let's move with guest Om Kumar VS. Guest Om Kumar? I have a few clues that will make this easy for you, if you're up for it.
Yeah, please go for the clues.
All right. So this person was the first president of independent India.
That's not a clue, that's an answer.
Yeah. So any guesses? Guest Om Kumar?
Just don't remember. Any other clue?
All right. Let me open the stage for Toastmaster Sampath Sauri Rajan as well. Sampath sir, what do you think? Toastmaster Sampath? Okay, looks like we don't have any. Toastmaster Uday, would you like to take a guess?
Yeah, it's Dr. Radhakrishnan.
No, it's not Dr. Radhakrishnan. No, not Dr. Radhakrishnan.
Rajendra Prasad?
Yeah, that's right. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He was the first president of independent India. Who was this? I didn't get the name. Who gave the right answer?
I'm Sundaram, Dr. Sundaram.
Yeah, Dr. Sundaram, right. Yeah. Okay, so this is the next one. And if you watched any movies about Indian independence struggle, I'm sure you would have heard about who this quote is from. So let me open the stage for Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Toastmaster Priya, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Is it Bhagat?
Yeah, that's right. Bombs and pistols do not make the revolution. The sword of revolution is sharpened on the whetting stone of ideas. Bhagat Singh, one of the youngest martyrs in India, and one of the people who was the inspiration behind a lot of youth joining the freedom struggle, Bhagat Singh. This next quote, let's have Toastmaster. Let's have Toastmaster Sarvanan for this one. Toastmaster Sarvanan. Oops. Did I spoil it? Toastmaster Sarvanan. Okay, never mind then. So this was every citizen of India must remember that he is an Indian and he has every right in this country, but with certain duties. Something that holds true even today. This was said by the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. No problem, Sarvanan. We'll save the next one for you. This is something that the first TMOD Dinesh talked about today. Who said this? Toastmaster Sarvanan. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. Yeah. Was it you who said this, Sarvanan? I think we're getting answers from. Let's do this. Let's open the stage for everyone because, yeah, that way everyone gets.
I think
let's open the stage.
This was by Jawaharlal Nehru and the phrase.
Yeah, this was by Jawaharlal Nehru.
Yeah. You can open house. You can have an open house.
So anyone, so going forward, anyone can feel free to answer the questions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But kindly keep yourselves on mute, only unmute when you're answering to avoid noise pollution.
Yes, very good point. So when you know that, like when you want to attempt, press spacebar on your computer to unmute, answer, and then as soon as you let go of spacebar, you'll be back on mute. So yeah, this was from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. A very famous speech that if you were into oratory in school, you would have recited this speech at some point or the other. The next one, Hey Ram.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, this is a very famous, his famous last words, Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
No introduction needed. Vande Mataram. So this is like the question is about who wrote this song. I know every.
Chatterjee.
Yeah. Yeah. Bankim Chandra.
Rabindranath Tagore?
No. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee is the right answer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to the next one. Sare Jahan Se Acha. Again, who composed this?
No. A.R. Rahman.
No, not A.R. Rahman.
Iqbal.
Yes, Iqbal. Who said? I heard two people say Iqbal. Who was that?
It's Guru 1 and Sundaresan 2.
Right. Okay. So Iqbal, Muhammad Iqbal, he was the one who wrote this song. A.R. Rahman would have composed it and then brought it back to life again, maybe given it a new rhythm.
Right. Yeah,
but the original was from Muhammad Iqbal. We gain freedom when we have paid the full price. This one is from India's first Nobel laureate. Any guesses?
Rabindranath Tagore.
Yeah, Rabindranath Tagore. He received the Nobel Prize for Gitanjali, but this was a quote that he gave us. Okay. Give me blood and I will give you freedom.
Chandra Bose.
Yes.
Chandra Bose.
This is one of those quotes that gives you goosebumps when you hear it. And if you've read anything about Subhash Chandra Bose's life story, his story is that of a real life movie hero, full of action, full of adventure, full of that drive to get India freedom. One of the pioneers and people leading at the front for the narrative where they thought that they need to be aggressive and take violent action against the British rule to achieve independence. Quite different from what Gandhi had in mind, but there were a lot of followers for his ideology. And then let's do a couple more so that we end up just in time. If your blood does not rage, it is water that flows in your veins. Again, one of the people who was a proponent of taking violent action against the British and not sitting and trying to achieve freedom through non-violent means. Someone who was martyred while they were young. Any guesses?
Azad.
Yeah, Guru sir seems to know all of these.
I used some of the quotes in some of my speeches. That's how.
Right. So Chandrasekhar Azad, he was the one. He was the one who gave this quote, and he was martyred along with Bhagat Singh. Swaraj is my birthright, and I shall have it.
Lokmanya Tilak.
Tilak.
Yeah. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. That's right. That is correct. So he was one of the people who spearheaded the freedom movement in Maharashtra. Like inside that state, he was the one who was leading people towards freedom, and they fondly called him Lokmanya Tilak. The preservation of freedom is not the task of soldiers alone. The whole nation has to be strong.
Modi.
No, this is not Modi. So just to make it easier, all of these people were directly involved in the freedom struggle back in before 1947. This is not Modi, but he was also a prime minister. So this is a clue. He was a president, not the prime minister. My bad. The second president of Free India.
Radhakrishnan. Dr. Radhakrishnan, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan.
No, this one is from Lal Bahadur Shastri.
Second Prime Minister of India, not
Prime Minister, not President.
Not President.
Oh, I mixed up.
It's
okay. Yeah,
when you told President, okay.
Yeah. So this is from Lal Bahadur Shastri, the second Prime Minister of Free India. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's do this for this is the last one. And this is truly in the spirit of independence. Even if I have to face death 1,000 times for the sake of my motherland, I shall not be sorry. Lord, grant me 100 births in India, but grant me this, that each time I may give up my life in the service of the motherland. Very powerful quote. Any guesses for who this is from?
Bhagat Singh once again.
Okay. No, this is not Bhagat Singh. So this one is from Ram Prasad Bismil. A very powerful quote, not heard very often. So I heard it for the first time when I was researching for this, this presentation. But a very strong quote, and it actually tells you a lot about the fervor of our freedom fighters and what they put in to get India to where it is right now. Let's end this session with this quote. I think we are just in time. And now I would like to hand it over to the general evaluator to go on with the tag reports. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It was good.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek Jain. We will listen to two stupendous speeches. They avoid the speeches, the singing thought, how the engineering college students, how they are speaking for the two speakers, very excellent speaking. I have the two evaluators. They have shared the instant feedback. It's a perfect feedback. Purpose of evaluator is only for the positive comment when the improvement the speakers. So that the speaker will corrected the speeches and move to the upcoming speeches. I'm very sure our evaluators excellent feedback. First, I have to call upon Mr. First speakers, project manager, Toastmaster Surya is speaking of college and hiring the people, how they are, what are the so many things is there. But he is evaluated Mr. Toastmaster Saravanan. He is working on the leading automobile company and the Toastmaster since 2009. He is my mentor. Please put your hand. Welcome, Mr. Toastmaster Saravanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. Toastmaster Surya is a leader, and he is able to inspire us with his speech as well as with his perseverance. Toastmaster Surya has used a technique, called technique. If you see my background, you can see that, CARL. That is context, action, result, and learning. This is the technique he has used to exemplify his speech. From a context perspective, Toastmaster Surya was honest to the manual and introduced his predominant styles by going through the survey. He told that he has got three predominant styles, which is very much needed as part of this manual: coaching, democratic, and innovative. And he set the context brilliantly because he was able to bring in his personal experience, whether as a VPE for Medley Club or whether coaching a trainee in his company when he was 26 years old, or while taking up the mantle to increase the recruitment of his company. All these contexts were put down very brilliantly by Toastmaster Surya. Second one, action. If you see action, the observation he did, plan he performed, the feedback he gave to his trainees, that was brilliantly done. And he was able to apply the leadership style in his role as a VP for Medley also. That also was brilliantly done. Third one, research. The research on 623 colleges which are suitable for his organization and how he recruited 700 new employees for his organization, that was also coming up brilliantly. And then the last point on the learning. He also observed so many things and he provided the learning which is a takeaway for everybody in this group also. For example, do your work effectively and decrease the dependency on others. That was also very well done. Overall, I would say this is a brilliant speech, but I have one recommendation for Toastmaster Surya. Toastmaster Surya, in the manual, there is one point that is mentioned, that is how your leadership style impacts the people around you and how you can adjust it to more effectively lead people with styles which are different from your own. See, for example, you mentioned that you have three predominant leadership styles: coaching, democratic, and innovative. And in case if your subordinates or a peer or like your manager has a different style, for example, authoritative or something like that, how would you have reacted to that? And what kind of impact it would have created? If you had brought that point of view, that would have been much more useful for others also. Overall, I would say, to summarize, this is a brilliant speech. You have brought in all the techniques that are needed, and you have been able to provide all the leadership qualities and what are the predominant qualities from your perspective also. That was very brilliantly done. Only thing is, if you have acted upon that impact portion, it would have been much more rounded speech as such. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saravanan. Excellent evaluation. It's a fantastic. Next one, our John Jayakumar speaking evaluator is a high energy person. He is impressed to me so that I joined the Medley. He is a communication consultant and a creator from 1st January 2015. Medley without break with the highest attendance, Mr. DTM Thomas Abraham. Please put your hand. Welcome, Mr. DTM Thomas Abraham. So you are in mute.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, G and dear friends. On the eve of the Independence Day, Toastmaster John Jayakumar rationally evaluated independence as a concept using the sensitive barometer or thermometer, if you like, of gender equality. In the process, he delivered a very professional speech with enough statistics to support things and enough emotion to carry things forward. Full marks for the topic selection and for using the most sensitive metrics for your preposition. But unlike the independence struggle, Mr. John Jayakumar's speech was smooth and easy flowing. Why was it easy flowing? One was structure. It was structured very well, logically. Secondly, he used some cold statistics that went like bullets on me. For example, to imagine that MBBS 83% are male. Now I realize why nobody wants to go to hospitals. On a serious note, he also talked about the dangers of this imbalance by showing the example of Europe, a geriatric continent, no one to take care, fewer people in the productive age because women don't want to be mothers. How will this generation, how will this race be sustained? A few thoughts now. My suggestions are these, John. One, stand and deliver like I do. When I stand and deliver, even a sweep of my hand will cover the entire screen. It improves the impact. Secondly, it's a good idea. Of course, you are a trustworthy witness, but it's a good idea to give the source for the statistics. And on statistics, I must say this, you possibly underplayed your clincher when you said high number of women going for higher education in Tamil Nadu. Supposing you were to say, Tamil Nadu leads all the Indian states with 45% of the women making up the higher education, consisting of XYZ, MSc, whatever, as per so-and-so statistics. And then if you were to say your final punch, equal representation for the genders, that will be true independence. So that shocker of statistics, because we never expected it. And then this preposition, the two would have gone together, helping each other. Overall, let me say, so very professional, so very well structured, well argued advocacy for gender equality. If not gender equality, what better barometer to evaluate the success or otherwise of an independent nation on its 75th birthday? Over to you. Thank you, GE.
Excellent evaluation, DTM Thomas, sir. And timer is a Toastmaster Morgan. Have all the evaluation and speakers qualified or not? Timer, please confirm.
Yes, all the evaluators are qualified and they managed to comment their evaluation. They managed to comment their evaluation begin the deadline.
Speakers? Before you told
Speakers, for the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Surya took 7 minutes 33 seconds. Toastmaster John Jayakumar 5 minutes 48 seconds.
I qualified only. Okay, no issue. Next level is evaluation. Now I would like I will call timer provided his report how entire things is replacing report. Timer, you can start one by one.
Mr. G, shall we finish the polling for evaluators?
Okay. Thank you. Next.
Shall I brief my report or?
Please provide. Mohan, Toastmaster Mohan.
For the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Surya take 7 minutes 33 seconds. Toastmaster John Jayakumar took 5 minutes 48 seconds. Under the evaluation, Toastmaster Saravanan took 3 minutes 12 seconds. And DTM Thomas C. Abraham took 3 minutes 10 seconds.
Thank you.
To general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Morgan. Thank you. Great report. It's an excellent report. Now I would call upon our counter Toastmaster Uday. Uday, can you share your report?
Yes, yeah. So I'll not be able to share my screen, so I'll read out the report. Group research who took part, Surgeon at Arm used 2 hours, and President Ranka 4 hours and 2 hours. Toastmaster Dinesh 2 passes and 5+ hours. Raghunathan Naisar 4 hours and 3 pass. So Toastmaster Priyadarshini 2 hours and Toastmaster Venkatesan 2 hours and 2 hours. Guest Chomkar used 2 hours and Toastmaster Periyasamy 2 hours, 1 show, and Toastmaster Dinagaran 3 show and 2 hours, and Toastmaster John Jayakumar 5+ hours and 1 euro, and Toastmaster Mohan 3 hours and 3 hours, and Toastmaster Karthikeyan 5+ hours and 2 passes, and Toastmaster Surya 2 hours and 4 hours. Toastmaster Abhishek 3 hours and Toastmaster Saravanan 2 hours, and DTM Thomas 1 euro.
Fantastic, Toastmaster Uday. You joined last month. You have prepared a good excellent report. I really appreciate. Now I would call upon grammarian Toastmaster Dinagaran. Dinagaran, can you share your report? Toastmaster Dinagaran.
Yeah, sure, G. Yeah. Toastmaster Saravanan used the word of the day during his evaluation today. And I also noted in some of the good usages and facts by the speakers and evaluators. Toastmaster John talked about today there are like 83% of doctors are male in the country today. And he also talked about in olden days muscle mattered, but in information age today, brain matters more than muscle. Toastmaster Saranan talked about call technique during his evaluation. D.M. Thomas used the facts, or the terms danger of imbalance and clincher. Yeah, over to you, G. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to Toastmaster Dinakaran. It's a fantastic brief explanation report. Now we have received all the report, timer report, grammar report, all-rounder report. Now, please, if you are please vote for based upon the role players when you are voting. Okay. Now I have end of the session overall feedback. It is an excellent spontaneous meeting. Everyone independence dress and the flag is a very super. It is a good unity of our Medley team. Second one, entire session is excellent prepared speaking. Third one, I can see lot of WhatsApp group, 2 or 3 WhatsApp group created and the follow-ups is very nice. Fourth one, all are well prepared session. Need to only highlight. Highlight means need to changes for the next meeting. Only 3 things is that meeting started 1 or 2 minutes late because the hosting delay, the host privileges issue. Second one, without timer confirmation, we could not share the voting session. It's happened in the meeting. Third one, ExCom provide the agenda Friday, but the ExCom management provide the agenda meeting Thursday. Only 3 things is need to highlight. Everyone is enjoying and happy in the meeting. We have so many things is learned how we are in the college, how they hiring the peoples. What are the female before independence? How many people male? 71%, 22% female. How very excellent speaking. We are enjoying the learning so many things in the meeting. Website like a college website, identify the contact, how they are excellent speaking. And one more thing, and over to you, Toastmaster the day, TM Modi, Toastmaster Subhasini.
Thank you very much, sir. As Sathishai mentioned, I guess I am on the same page with him. While I want to represent all the women power that went on to fight for the freedom of our country in many different ways, the causes that they felt is important. Of all the many freedom fighters, women freedom fighters that you know, there are other people that I would like to mention. Captain Lakshmi Sehgal, Annie Besant, Ammu Swaminathan, Bikay Kama, Umabai, Sucheta Kriplani, Kamala Devi, and many more who have fought for this freedom. And today, I would like to have them in my memory as I'm in front of you, taking this session, Nostalgia. This is the last segment of today's meeting, Nostalgia. I remember raging at the stage, the love for my country, my respect for the freedom fighters, and the responsibility that I ensured I will profoundly take as a proud citizen of India every Independence Day and Republic Day as I grew up. Though it's the script my mom orchestrated in a piece of paper, my heart went leaps and bounds with so much joy and fire for this beautiful India as I grew up, until one day when I realized that patriotism was not as strong as the day it used to be on the stage. That woke me. And from that day on, I'm so sure that my love for the country is very consistent, and I take so much effort in every way possible to put and contribute for my country. On that note, I'm so delighted to have people, because we all love stories, I'm sure you all do, and real stories gives us a thrill. And today we have with us family of our Medleyans who have been there, you know, during the freedom fighting, during the independence, and they're here to share with all of us. I'm sure you will all go back home and make sure that, you know, ask your grandmom, ask your dad, what were you doing? So that is so important. So without much delay, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Venkatesation to give his tribute to his grandfather, late Sri V. Jagannathan. Over to you, Toastmaster Venkatesation. Can I have you on screen, please?
you are looking at my back.
Sorry, your voice is not very clear, sir.
Is it better now?
No.
No, it's not clear.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, on behalf of Venkatasation, sir, I would like to honor and give the tribute. Or maybe should I wait, sir? Should I go to somebody else? Oh, yeah, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you. So sorry for that. May I now call upon Toastmaster Shankar to let us know what you have for us to hear. Toastmaster Shankar.
Yeah, Subhashni, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Subhashni, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Before that, I would also like.
Thank you. Attend one.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Before that, I would like all of you to keep in mind, just take 3 minutes, the timer. Please note, please flash green card at
Hello.
Hello at 2.5 and
Yeah.
it at 3. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. I guess his network is also poor.
Hi, Subhashi. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You can please go ahead.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Subhashni.
Shankar, you are having a lag in your network bandwidth, so now Venkatasation has taken over.
Yeah, the Zoom master can mute your
I'm not able to mute him for some reason.
Yes. Venkat, sir, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Oops.
Can the Zoom master mute Shankar, sir, please, for a moment?
Yeah, somehow, for some reason, I'm not able to mute both of them.
Okay, Shankar, sir, you were not audible. Anyways, very sorry. Venkat, sir, please go ahead.
No, I think even Venkatasation is having problem in its manual.
Okay, I'm very, very sorry.
I think, sorry, am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Venkatasation. Don't ask, am I audible? Go ahead with your speech.
Okay. Hello, everyone. The person whom you are looking at the background of my screen is V. Jagannathan, who was my paternal grandfather. So he was born in 1919 in Madurai. He was a keen follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and he participated in freedom struggle and went to jail for 3 months each time in 1943 and again in 1944. He was also a close friend of Madurai's first MP, Mr. Balu, and he was also a very close friend of Minister Kakkan of independent Madras state then. So Kakkan used to visit our house very frequently and stay in our house for many times. Once even my grandfather was warned by the village community for bringing people from other communities into our house. But my grandfather staunchly revolted against such discrimination. And he was one of the powerful and firm person in the village against caste discrimination. So I'm really proud of my grandfather and such many great freedom fighters whose perseverance has brought because of which I and we all breathe this fresh and freedom air. Vande Mataram. And thanks to the Medley for sharing this nostalgic moments with you all. Thank you.
Vande Mataram. Thank you so very much, sir. That caste discrimination is something that needs a strong perseverance to go and fight ahead. Salute to your grandfather on this day. Thank you so much. Also, I encourage all the Medlians, when you're on mute, you can do a hand signal of clapping so that it really is a tribute for people who really were there during the freedom struggle. Going forward, now I would like to call our President Toastmaster Ranga, who has his mother, yes, Srimati Narayani, here with us. So over to you, ma'am.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். வந்தே மாதரம். நம்ம பூமி புண்ணிய பூமி. நம்ம சுதந்திரம் கிடைத்து 75 வருடங்கள் ஆகிவிட்டன. நான் என் பெற்றோருடன் அப்பொழுது தஞ்சாவூர்ல இருந்தேன். அங்கே எங்க ஆத்துக்கு எதிர்த்தாப்புல ஒரு பெரிய மைதானம் உண்டு. திலக்கர் திடல்னு பேரு அதுக்கு. அதுக்கு பக்கத்திலேயே ராஜராஜ சோழன் பெரிய கோவில் உண்டு. அந்த இடத்தான் சுத்தி நாங்கள்லாம் இருந்தோம். அப்பெல்லாம் தினம் அந்த திலக்கர் மைதானத்துல தினம் மீட்டிங் நடக்கும். எல்லா அரசியல் தலைவர்களும் வந்து பேசுவா. கூட்டமான கூட்டமா இருக்கும். விடிய விடிய நடந்துட்டே இருக்கும். ஆனா எங்க ஆத்துல இருந்து யாரும் போக மாட்டோம். அதனால விடமாட்டேன். அப்பா எல்லாம் ரொம்ப கட்டுப்பாடு, விடமாட்டான் அவள்லாம். ஆனா நான் அந்த பள்ளிக்கூடத்துலதான் நாங்கெல்லாம் படிச்சிருந்தோம். எனக்கு 3-4 தோழிகள்லாம் உண்டு. நாங்க எல்லாரும் 3 மைல் போய் ஸ்கூல்ல படிச்சுட்டு 3 மைல் திரும்பிதான் வருவோம். எல்லாரும் சந்தோஷமா நாங்க பேசிண்டே போவோம். அந்த ஹிஸ்டரி வரலாறு சப்ஜெக்ட் வரைச்சே நாங்கெல்லாம் சொல்லிப்போம், ஐயோ நம்ம தேசம் இப்படி அடிமை இல்லாம சுதந்திரமா இருக்கணுமேன்னு நாங்க அத்தனை பேரும் ஒருத்தர் பேசுவோம். பேசிட்ட உடனே பாரு, நம்மளுக்கும் ஒரு நாளைக்கு நன்னா அடிமையிலேருந்து நம்மளும் விடுபட்டுருவோம் பாரு அப்படின்னு நாங்க ஒருத்தர் எல்லாருமே கலந்து பேசிப்போம். ஒரு நாளைக்கு பார்த்தா ஒரே எல்லாருக்கும் ரொம்ப குஷியா சந்தோஷமா பேசேன். நம்ம தேசம் விடுதலை அடைஞ்சு விட்ட பாரு. 1947 ஆகஸ்ட் 15 நம்மளுக்கு சுதந்திரம் கிடைச்சிட்டு பாரு பாரு அப்படின்னு தாங்க முடியாது. இதுக்குதான் பாடுபட்டோம். நம்ம அத்தனை பேரும் இதுக்குதான் பாடுபட்டோம். அதனால உங்களுக்கு இன்னொரு ரசமான விஷயம் சொல்றேன். எங்க ஆட்டுக்கு பக்கத்திலேயே அவ தேசபக்தி உள்ளவா, அவ காங்கிரஸ்காரா. அவ ஆத்துல ஒரே புள்ள. எங்க ஆத்துக்குள்ளேயே அவாத்துக்குள்ள பேடலாம். வீட்டுக்குள்ளேயே வீடு மாதிரி அவளுக்கும். அங்க போனாக்க என்ன ஆகும்னா, அவ பெரிய ஒரு கிராஃபோன் வச்சுருப்பா. அந்த காலத்து கிராஃபோன் அது ஊமாக்கம்பூ மாதிரி இருக்கும், அழகா பாக்கிறதுக்கு. அதுக்கு கீழ் கொடுத்துதான் நீடில் போட்டு அந்த பிளேட்ல வைக்கணும். வச்சாதான் அது பாட்டு பாடும். அவாத்துக்கு பிள்ளைக்கு நான் தான் போய் அதெல்லாம் போட்டு கொடுக்கணும். அப்ப தேசபக்தி பாடல் சொல்லுவாங்கலாம், பாடுவோம். நாங்கெல்லாமும் பாடுவோம். இந்த சுதந்திரம் கிடைச்ச உடனே அவர் அப்படி ஒரு சந்தோஷப்பட்டு, நரணி வா வா நம்ம போடணும் அப்படின்னா. சரி, என்ன பார்த்த உடனே கிடைச்ச உடனே பாரதியரோட பாட்டு. அப்போ வெற்றி எட்டு தீக்கும் எட்ட பொட்டு முரசே, வெற்றி எட்டு தீக்கும் எட்ட பொட்டு முரசே, வேதம் என்றும் வாழ்க என்றும் ஒட்டு முரசே. சுப்பிரமணியார் பாரதியாரோடது இது. அதனால சுதந்திரம் கிடைச்சுட்டுன்னு கொட்டு முரசு கொட்டு, நம்ம தேசத்துக்கு முரசு கொட்டி முன்னுக்கு வாங்குவோம் எல்லாரும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன். அப்புறம் பிளாக் ஹாஸ்டிங் நடக்கும் எங்க ஸ்கூல்ல. நாங்க எல்லாரும் பிளாக் ஹாஸ்டிங்க்கு போயாகணும். அப்போ தாயின் மணி கொடி பாரே, நம் தாயின் மணி கொடி பாரே, அதை தாழ்ந்து பறந்து புகழ்ந்திடவாரி, தாயின் நம் தாயின் மணி கொடி பாரே. ஜெய் ஹிந்த், Jai Hind.
ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி. எங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே ஷுவரா வந்து everyone would have got goosebumps. ரொம்ப நன்றி உங்களோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் எங்க கூட இந்த அளவுக்கு இம்பாக்ட்ஃபுல்லா எங்க கூட ஷேர் பண்ணதுக்கு நாங்க எல்லாருமே வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கொடுத்து வச்சிருக்கோம். ஓகே எவ்ரிபடி லைக்
fantastic fantastic
thank
awesome.
you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you very much. I have no words. I'm just like frozen here. Fine. I would now like to request Toastmaster Raghunath Nair to share his legacy. This is the way we are going to keep our legacies alive. This is what we are going to give our children, our grandchildren, because this is something that we personally own as part of this country and as a citizen of India. Over to you, sir, Raghunath, sir.
Let me share my screen. Hope it is visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my wife's grandmother. Her name is Srimati, born in 1928. An epitome of positivity and confidence. It is like she has like the way she talks about the Independence Day. I had a long call, but she was not able to come or was not able to get that audio. But she's a person who has experienced what an Independence Day or what it is, because she had to drop out at the age of, when she was in 7, in protest against the British education system in that thing. And what she remembers is the grand feast that was there in her house, done by her brother, as a felicity for the perseverance of the independent fighters and the freedom that we got. Her brother, after his graduation, was in Chennai doing her BL, and he was part of the Quit India movement. And in one of the public courses, he was arrested. And while the judge was giving the judgment, he asked the judge, "Aren't you not shame enough to be sitting and working for the British? You should come and join." So even others all got 6 months in jail. He got 12 months jail. And that is where what she recollects. And more than that, after the independence, her interaction with Captain Lakshmi when she was there, who came to our house, and those are so much of memories she has about the independence that we had. A great experience, and I seriously feel goosebumps when I speak to her even now. Over to you, Subhash.
Thank you so very much for bringing.
Is she alive now?
Yes, she is. Yes.
To us. Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time and sharing this inspiring story. I'm sure we all have to grab a lot of courage, because we don't have so much current against us. We just have to go along, but then like boldly, and we just have to take that bravery from all of them. Thank you so very much, Raghunath sir, once again. Now I would let's give a round of applause for Raghunath sir's family. Thank you. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Guru Prasad sir, who has his grandmother with him.
Oh, I'm not that young enough. She's my mother.
Mother.
Thank you very much. She's Mrs. Padma, my mother. Due to some reasons, she's not in a position to communicate, but I remember the stories she used to share with us about her young age. She was studying in a school in first class when India was declared independence. As usual, they all went to the school without any much information about this. The school headmaster then called all the students, asked them to assemble in the prayer hall, distributed chocolates, asked them to sing Vande Mataram, and told everyone, "Inniki namma naattukku sudandram kadachiruthu." She says, at that age, I didn't even recollect what is. All I remember is that sweet that was given to me in that school. I enjoyed that day. Later, she understood a lot. So that's one memory she used to share with us. When she was born in 1941, she was almost 7 years old in school days. That's the fond memory she recollects about Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. Let's please give a big round of applause to Guru Prasad sir's mother, Srimati Padma. Thank you, sir. Also, I would like to mention Ranga sir's mother was 10 years old when India got independence. She was born in the year 1937. With that, I guess we have.
Subhashini, I'm back. This is Shankar, I'm back.
Yes, yes. Okay, so please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Subhashini. I'm in Pondicherry now. I came here to attend one of the family function in my in-law home. TM Rangarajan has called me yesterday about this special event. I was so surprised because my wife, grandma, was a pre-independence period. So I was thinking to recall her nostalgic memory about the first day independence called her. However, I was little dilemma whether she speaks in the virtual floor or not. But without any hesitation, she said yes. So to little brief about grandma, her name is Meena. She was beauty queen at the time, of course, now also, when you see her. She was born in September 1941, and she is living in the same home from the day she was born. And she's so attached to her home. Initially, I said I can take the video and send it to the team, but she told me that she will speak to you directly. Okay, I would like to over to her. Probably, since Pondicherry is raining, there may be a little lag on mobile data. Please excuse. Over to her.
Yes, sir.
இந்த பாண்டிச்சேரி நேரில் சுதந்திரம் வாங்குது. நான் ஊரை விட்டு ஊரை வந்து ஊரை விட்டு ஊரை
You're on mute. You're on mute, sir. She's on mute. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
வணக்கம் சார். நீங்க பேசலாம்.
வணக்கம். நாங்க ஊருக்கெல்லாம் வந்து பாண்டிச்சேரியில இருந்திருந்தோம். ஊருக்கு போய் பஸ் மேல ஏறி போய் இழுத்து போட்டு அடிச்சு 3 மாசம் சென்று வீட்டுக்கு வந்தோம். வீட்டுக்கு வந்து இதை அடிக்க வந்து எல்லாரையும் கஷ்டப்படுத்தி நாங்க ரொம்ப வேலைப்பட்டு ஊரெல்லாம் பத்தி எரிஞ்சு ரொம்ப வேலை அடைஞ்சோம். நாங்கெல்லாம் ரொம்ப செஞ்சு நாடை விட்டு நாடும் போனோம். இங்கே இருந்து சுதந்திரத்துக்கு வருஷம் பாடுபடுறா 47 சுதந்திரம் கொண்டாடுறது. இப்போ எத்தனை வருஷம் தெரியாது.
Shankar sir. Okay, thank you, Shankar sir and ma'am. Thank you so much. Please give a big round of applause for he's trying again and again because there is some rain and there's a network issue. Thank you so very much. We are coming to the fair end of this session. I'm sure you all must have enjoyed this story listening from them. Please go back home and then please ask your parents, grandparents as to what they have to tell so that we can have that with us and carry on this legacy and keep this legacy alive. Before that, I would like to share with all of you one such story which actually made a lot of sense to me. There's an old man who used to go for a walk at the beach every single day. One morning when he went for a walk at the beach, he noticed a lot of starfish was washed away by the waves after a huge storm. At a distance, he noticed a small boy was picking that starfish and throwing back at the ocean. As he approached closer, the old man asked the young small child, why are you doing this, throwing the starfish back into the sea? The small child replied saying, once the sun is up, the starfish may not survive. So I'm just trying to give them life back. I'm just throwing them back at the sea. The old man laughed and said, there are about 1,000 starfishes here. You won't be able to, put them all back into the sea. The child replied astonishingly, yes, I know that. I can't do this for all the 1,000 starfish, but for one starfish, its life matters. For as much as I can, I'm going to throw it back into the sea. Let them get their life back. This story struck a chord. I felt sometimes we think collectively only we can make difference, but that's not true. Individual responsibility is something that is our right and our duty towards a better India. And I believe in it. I'm sure you do too. With that, I happily hand over to our president, Toastmaster Ranga. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, TM Modis, Atishay, Dinesh, and Subhashini. A fabulously conducted event. And I'm very happy and thrilled because there was a lot of participation from almost everyone in the audience. And this is the true spirit of independence. I'm just waiting for the winners. 1 second. So why don't we wait for the poll results? I would like to call upon some of our guests to give their opinion about today's meeting. How different was it, and was it something that they had expected, or has it exceeded the expectations? We'll again start with Om Kumar.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. So it was a bit of surprise. I thought that tabletop this kind of thing will be there, but again, the round robin thing was different, and the entire approach and the total structure of today's session was a bit different, and it was very interesting. So everybody got an opportunity to speak, and so got to know about many things about our freedom and by the way of communicating as well. So a good show altogether. Thank you.
Thank you for your feedback. Next, I'd like to call upon Ms. Neela Ramesh. Can you unmute yourself and give us a few words? See that she's just dropped off. How about Harish?
It's not here.
Yeah, Harish. Harish?
Yeah, Harish, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, please. Harish, okay. And there's a guest called Dilip. Dilip.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes,
Dilip. Oh, I didn't listen, sir. I was on mute. Sorry, can you just repeat that?
Yeah, I'd just like to have your observations on today's meeting.
Okay.
Thanks,
Subhashini, for calling me for this. And sorry, members, I was a little late because of my other commitment. I was in a different Zoom. 1 minute. So, because I've attended a couple of Toastmaster thing, but this was something like a very ethical one. If I can talk in Tamil, if you guys allow me. So, நிறைய பேர் பெரியவங்கலாம் வந்து பேசினாங்க to listen to a couple of things நான் பேசுறப்ப தான் வந்தேன். So it was very heart touching, and ஒருத்தவங்க பேசுறப்ப 75 years of Indian independence பேசினாங்க. It was something going back and coming. You go back to the past and come back to the future அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தது. And I was in a different meeting attending Abdul Kalam, the missile man of India. So அது முடிச்சிட்டு இங்க வரப்ப it was almost similar. From there, the transition from there to here was the vibe was same, something similar. And I joined the meeting very late. So overall, it was like a Toastmaster from past to the future. This is what was my observation. Thank you.
Okay. Visit to Medley? Is this the first time you're coming to Medley?
Yes.
Okay. So you could just send your contact details to us. We'll stay in touch with you and we'll call you for meetings going forward.
Yes, yes.
You could just post it in the chat box.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Harish, I see that you're back. Could you just unmute yourself and speak, Harish?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So give us your impressions about the meeting.
Yes. Today's meeting has went very well. I like this meeting. And I hope I will join the Medley very soon. And next meeting I will be joining.
We'll stay in touch. We have your coordinates. We'll stay in touch with you, and we'll hope that you will be able to join us soon. So we have the results of the winners.
Mr. President, even guest Neela Ramesh hopped in for a second. I think she's available.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry, almost missed
Thank
you.
you so much,
Yes.
sir. Yes, the president called me out. The moment he called me, I left the meeting. I don't know that he was calling me. And again, I joined back after hearing that name.
I'm
Okay,
glad.
so happy to see you all. And I was really, it was really amazing to see all elders in the meeting. And they all were sharing about their experiences during the freedom fight. And it was really, really, we got goosebumps when we were when we were hearing their stories. And when Rangasa's mother, I think it is Rangasa's mother, was singing that song Vande Mataram, that song Thayin Manikodi, really tears rolled out. Okay. So they're all what to say, they're all so much patriotic, and they all were fighting for the freedom of our country. So it is a really different kind of meeting. So we didn't expect this, and you really all you did a great job, Medley's team. And I'm from Madurai Toastmasters Club, and I'm the VP of Madurai Toastmasters Club.
Welcome.
So, yeah.
Welcome.
So almost only 10 minutes back, I joined the meeting.
Okay.
It was really, I missed out from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was really wonderful. Thank
Glad
you.
you
Sir.
could join us today. So
Yeah.
with that, I would like to announce the winners of today's meeting. The best speaker is Toastmaster John. Congratulations, John. The best evaluator is DTM Thomas. The best tag player is TM Uday, our debutant. Well done, Uday. And the best role player is TM Subhashini. Well done. So with that, I think we have had a fascinating meeting today. I enjoyed every minute of it. And with the sound of this gong, I would like to adjourn meeting number 637 and open it up. Open the meeting for everyone else.
Well done, everybody. Very good meeting. Very good meeting. Very nice.